Hello, my loves, and welcome to this week's episode of I Think I Need Therapy. I have started my indoor season, my last semester being an athlete, being a college athlete, and it has made me so emotional in so many different ways. Like, on one hand, I'm super sad that it's my last year, but I'm also like super frustrated, super angry, disappointed, annoyed, super grateful. Yeah, excited, hopeful. A lot of different emotions, and for a lot of different reasons that I'm going to get into in this episode. Because this year has been bizarre on my team, and there's just been a lot going on. So I wanted to come on and update you guys on those things. I haven't really talked about my athlete stuff in a little while, but I think it's because I just lost the joy in it for a long time and kind of my passion for it, in a sense, for the last, let's be real, the last 4 years. Ever since COVID, I think I just lost it, and a lot of different things have happened. But when I go back to high school and my start of my college career, it was really hard for me because I put so much pressure on myself and I overthought everything when it came to jumping and practice and all that stuff. Right now it's so different. I just had my first 2 indoor meets of the season, and I just been reflecting on how different my mindset is from before, because like I'm saying before, I used to overthink so much, and there was so much pressure that I put on myself to do well, and I cared a lot. I used to just care so much, to the point where I was like, had so much anxiety. And if you are an athlete, you know about the superstitions, because we like to control everything, but you really can't. And yeah, if you know about the superstitions, you know about the superstitions, and I've tried to get away from them, and I kind of have, but they used to be worse, where it was like, if my shoelaces weren't tucked in, I was not going to do good. I wasn't going to clear the bar. If I didn't have oatmeal before a meet, I wasn't going to do good. If I didn't wear certain socks or certain underwear or a certain bra, it wasn't going to be good. And then there's other things like your certain like pre-jump routine or your pre-whatever routine that you have. I mean, those things are also good just for like repetition and getting yourself into the zone. But it's like, if I don't do something the exact same, like say I mess up my start or I mess up that routine, it's like, holy shit, nope, it's gonna go bad. Like I'm already failing before it starts, kind of thing. And and that can like drive you insane. I know other people who, I've talked about it so much with my teammates because we all have them in our different ways. My one friend had to have the exact same breakfast all the time, like I was saying, but hers was different. My one teammate, she says that her shoelaces need to be out and not tucked in, opposite of mine. Oh, my one teammate, he used to always put his water bottle in between his shoes. Like he would have his shoes placed on the ground, like, because we have our running shoes and our spikes. So when he had his spikes on, his water bottle had to be in between his shoes, and the logo had to be facing outwards towards the track. Every time he put it down, it had to be in that specific spot, in that specific arrangement. I was like, oh, that's interesting. But like little things like that, we all have. And sometimes it helps you stay sane, but other times it makes you insane. That's why I've kind of just come away from those. And I feel like now where I am is at a point where I can just go out there and I can be locked in, I can be in the zone, but I'm also having fun in it, enjoying it. And just like, if I don't do perfect, if I don't do great, if say I know it or something, yes, I'm going to be upset, but it's not going to dictate my whole mood and my whole week or even my whole life. It's not going to make that much of an impact on me, because that shit just happens. And I think that's a kind of the beauty in like not having such a good college career is now when I am faced with things that don't go the way that I want them to, I know that it is okay and I will be okay moving forward. So it's taught me that, which is great. And going into comps now, it's just I don't have so much of that anxiety where I need to control every little thing and have those superstitions where everything has to go perfect in order for me to perform perfectly. Now it's just like, you know what, I'm gonna go out there, be confident in myself, and do what I fucking do, because I've done it so many times. Like, I know I can just go out there and do what I do it, you know what I mean? And I just have this like calmness to me now, and it's just so much better. But I mean, okay, there's kind of a downside because I'm not like, I've learned about the peak arousal scale in sports, and you can be under aroused, over aroused, or at your peak like perfect state of like excitement, energy, arousal. And I am typically under aroused when I am competing. I like have, you would think that I'm just like ready to go to bed. I don't know, like I'm not hyped up, and I think I need to be even more because I'm just like so too calm. Like, yes, I'm nervous, but like too calm. Like I need to get excited or something, like more energy, because I don't know why whenever I compete my energy is just like not there, but I still am doing well. So anyways, that's something for me to work on. But mentally I'm doing so much better in the sport, and I'm honestly falling back in love with it, which is so beautiful. And I've talked about it in a previous episode. If you want to go listen to that, it's about falling back in love with your sport. And I thought I was then, but now I'm coming to realize right now where I'm like actually super excited. I'm super hopeful, and I haven't felt this way in a very long time. I have not PR'd in 4 years. PR means personal record, if you don't know. Like, I haven't gotten a personal best, personal record no, in longer than 4 years, like 5 years. Okay, wait, no, maybe 4. It's hard, especially the transition from high school athletics into college athletics, where I was literally just talking about this with one of my old teammates, where high school athletes are a whole fucking different breed. When you're in high school, like, you can do 5 different sports, be like a star athlete in all of those, eat like shit, sleep awful, and like you can fucking do whatever in high school, and you recover so fast. Like, I don't even know what our bodies are in high school, but you can just like do it all. You could do it all. And you would, like, so many high school athletes, you PR every single meet. Like, you're constantly PRing, you're constantly doing good. And then you get to college and it's like, what the fuck? You rarely PR. You have to really focus on your recovery and keeping your body healthy, and you can't do more than just your sport. I mean, given training is definitely different, and life is so different in college than it is in high school. But it's just like your bodies are so different, and you can't do the same things as you could in high school, and you don't like improve at the same rate you did in high school. So it's really hard when you have the expectations you did in high school going into college, and you're like, yes, I'm gonna PR all the fucking time. Like, sure, yes, it is possible, but it's rare. I hadn't PR'd since high school, and that was just really, really hard. And it has been really, really hard. I still haven't. I've attempted it a few times, but I haven't gotten there yet. But I'm hopeful, and I'm really, really starting to enjoy what I'm doing again, because for the last 3 years of my college career, I barely did jump. I didn't really do the thing that I loved that much, and there's multiple different reasons for that, but I think I do enjoy the training. I love the process, don't get me wrong on that, but I'm here to high jump. I'm here to jump. That's what I enjoy doing, and I didn't get to do that very often, and when I was doing it, I was not doing it well, and it was super frustrating, or I was doing it in fucking agonizing pain. So it was just really, really rough for me. My first few years of college athletics, up until like spring of last year, it finally started getting better. But I came into college with this patella tendon injury, which your patella tendon is this little tendon in your knee, and so I think it's a tendon, I would assume, because it's a patella tendon. Yeah. It's in your knee, and so I was having issues with that. Had it for fucking months, and it was just awful. There was days where I just like couldn't walk without this fucking pain. And I got to college, my coach knew, and I still did all the training. It was all fine, and that finally, like, at some point healed up. But then, like a week later, after that healed, literally a week later, my shins started hurting. So I did some rehab for them, tried different stuff, yada yada. They got better, but then they started getting worse, and it just was like nothing was working. I tried every treatment in the motherfucking book, every treatment for my shins, and they just progressively got worse and worse. And so my freshman year, I was just in pain. Every time I jumped was in pain, and I vividly remember that summer I was burnt out. I was depressed. I've talked about it a lot. But not a good time. Not a good time. Anyways, I went to a meet back at home in Canada during the summer, and I remember competing. I did okay, better than I kind of had done here. But I vividly remember after the meet at the facility that I jump at home, you have to walk like far to get to the parking lot, especially because like the ones that are closer get really packed. And I remember walking out of the doors, getting to the road, getting to the sidewalk, and I was like, Dad, I can't fucking do it. I cannot walk all that way. I cannot walk right now, because I was in such agonizing motherfucking pain that I couldn't even walk. So I waited while he drove the car over to pick me up, because I couldn't walk. It was so painful, and this happened often. And so after that, I took a break for the rest of the summer, then came back and was like, okay, I'm feeling better. Took a break during the summer. I'm feeling better. Let's see how this season goes. Got a few weeks in, was doing the training, and then boom, was in pain. They were still like, yeah, you have shin splints. Kept trying everything in the book. Whatever. Would compete on meds with biofreeze, taped the fuck up, and was still in pain every single day, all the time. And so my whole sophomore year, basically all I did training wise was sit on the stationary bike and pedal. Let me tell you, that is one of the hardest workout forms of exercise I've done, is literally bike workouts. Those are literally hell, but I love them because they are so hard and challenging. But I've done them far too much. Like, I was on that stationary bike every single day, I swear, working out. So because like they didn't know what else to do, it was just like doing anything on the track would hurt my shins, and they didn't want it to get worse, even though literally it was, and it wasn't getting better. But yeah, anyways, I spent most of my sophomore year on the stationary bike and lifting. And when I tell you, it's so fucking isolating. Having an injury is so isolating because you can't work out with your team. You can't do the thing you love, and you have to do like everything alone, all your training alone, because everyone else has to do the real workouts and you can't. And so I felt super isolated and just sad, and yeah, it was fucking frustrating as hell going through that. And I just didn't know what was wrong, because everyone was like, yeah, you have shin splints, but like they're not getting better, and no treatment was working. So I kept trying things, going through the year. Then I went home for summer. Didn't do good in track that year, really. I was performing at a pretty average level. Was not really happy with it, but it was what it was, you know? So then I went home for summer. I think I took that summer primarily off. I can't really remember. But I came back the next year and felt good. Body felt good. But then the pain came back. Literally repeated itself every single fucking year. The pain came back in my shins and I was like, oh my god, not this again. Like, we're literally going through this again. This is so fucking annoying. And thankfully, we had a new athletic trainer that year because, like, we would go through different athletic trainers every single year, all the time. And we got a new one that year and love her to death. She is my literal fucking savior because I don't know why no one ever referred me to get an MRI that whole time. They're just like, no, you have shin splints, you're fine. But she was finally like, okay, you are getting an MRI. We're seeing what this is. So I got x-rays done. Then I got an MRI. And it turns out I had a stress reaction, which is like, you have a healthy bone, then there's like a partially, like a hairline fracture, or like very like partially fractured, and that's like a stress reaction. And then you have like an actual like fractured bone, and then you have a fucking broken bone. So I had a stress reaction in my shin bone. So the fall of my junior year, I went into a boot and crutches. Well, actually, I was on crutches for 2 days, and then I decided to get a little scooter because both of my shins were bad. If I could have a wheelchair, I would have had a wheelchair. She kept saying that to me, and we all kept joking that I should have been in a wheelchair because both of my shins were so bad. Anyways, I was on this little scooter in my boot for about like 3-4 weeks, and honestly, that was probably like the best time. And I'm super grateful because, well, not super grateful. It was better for me because 3 of my other teammates were also injured at the exact same time with stress fractures or like some sort of shin issues. So I had people to, you know, hang out with in the training room, do those like the practices with that like we had moderated and we couldn't really do the real practices, so we did like little things together, which was nice. And so I wasn't so lonely and isolated from the team so much because there was other people who were injured with me at the same time. So that was honestly a fun time. I got to scoot around in my little scooter, but it honestly is hard being injured, especially as someone who hates asking for things because you do need to rely on people and depend on people. It is super hard, especially because halfway through, not even halfway through, like a week into having the boot and the scooter, I somehow subluxed my shoulder. I just was like eating my dinner one day at this exact desk. I was eating. And then I was like, oh, my arm kind of hurts. Like I can't really lift it. And then I'm just like, like it's probably a tight muscle. Then the next day I'm like, holy shit, like I can't lift my arm. Like it's just like really bad. And like hurts to like move whatsoever. And like I just had to lean it on my desk the whole morning. And I was like, damn, I'm going to go get this checked out. So I got it checked out by my trainer, the one I love and who saved me and got me an MRI. And she's like, what the fuck? Your shoulder is literally out of place. Like, do you not see that it's hanging forward and down? And I'm like, oh, no, I didn't notice that. So she put it back in place, which for some reason didn't hurt. Like, everyone was like, didn't it hurt when it like came into place? I'm like, I don't even know when it happened. And it didn't even hurt going back in place. So I don't know what that all was. Anyways, so then I was in a sling while I'm in my boot in my scooter. Actually, no, I got rid of the scooter at this point. I could walk on the boot. So I could walk on the boot and be in the sling. Everyone said I looked like I was in a car crash. It was kind of awful. But during that time, I really had to depend on people because I had one arm and one leg. And so I couldn't do all that much. And I remember like I needed to put up my hair, but I couldn't do it myself because like I couldn't lift my arm. So my roommates had to do my hair for me some days. I'm just so grateful for my friends during that time, because a few of my friends would like carry my scooter up into my apartment every day and carry it down for me and just helped me out so much and drove me to school every day. So it's difficult relying on people, but you literally have to, or else you can't do anything. So I'm super grateful to have the people I have around me to have helped me through that. Other than that part of having to rely on people, there wasn't that much struggle to it. The real struggle came afterwards, when the boot came off and it was time to actually go back into training. That is literally the worst part. It was so hard. When I tell you, I genuinely cried so much during this time, and every time I would be on the track or in the weight room, I would be tearing up because I was so utterly terrified of it happening again. And I was so terrified that anytime I did some sort of movement, the pain would come back and I'd have to go right back into the boot and be taken away from practice again. Every time I tried to run or like started to do some exercise, I would tear up, and all I wanted to do was run out of the room and just go cry and just run away from it and not do anything. And there was times where I was in the weight room too, and I just like have to leave and like go tear up a little bit and then go back, because it was just so scary thinking about how this movement, it was the movement that hurt me before, or this movement in the past caused me so much pain, and going back into that movement again after not being able to do it for so long was just so scary. Because what if I do it and there is pain? What if I do this again and the pain comes back the exact same? And so that was the most difficult thing to get past. I really just had to push myself to do it. I just had to get past the tears, get past the fear, and just do it. Just try running a little bit. Just try doing whatever movement it was. And the more I did it, the easier it got. I just had to do it every single day. And then it became easier. And yes, there was pain sometimes, but it was getting better. It was getting better. It was significantly better than it was before. So finally I was able to do things at moderation. But the other hardest part to having the injury still is the hardest part, is having to self-advocate. Because when I'm in practice, it's like, okay, I know I can't do as much as everyone else because I have this history, and I know that my shins are still not at 100%, and they probably won't be for a while. And so knowing that I can't really do what everyone else does, and so I have to be like, okay, this is too much for me. I can't do as many reps as everyone else. Like, I need to like stop at this, and it feels like I'm just backing out of a workout, or I'm just like being that athlete that uses their injury as an excuse not to do something, which is literally stupid. And I would never do that, and I don't want people to think that I would be doing that, which I don't think anyone does. But that's literally the hardest part, and it makes me cry a lot. Used to, because I would be like, I don't know if I should be doing this, because if I do it and I push past the pain, or I pushed myself a little bit further than, maybe I used to, then I could risk getting injured again, or I could risk having that pain come back once again. And it's like, maybe it will come back, but maybe it'll go away. And like, I don't know, like I can't predict it. But I do know that if I do feel pain, that is probably not good, and that's an exercise that I should not be doing. So I have learned how to just speak up and be like, I'm hurting right now. Can I do this in moderation? Can I do something else? Whatever. But yeah, that's just been the hardest part, is having to decide when it's too much for me and not being able to finish a workout, and me being the one to say that. But I've just asked a lot of the time for my coaches to make that decision for me or my athletic trainers to make that decision for me, because it takes so much pressure off of me and so much anxiety off of me, because that is an incredibly difficult decision to make. So asking them to just make that decision has helped so much. After I got out of the boot, I got back into training, like I was saying, and then finally was able to compete without pain for like the first time in so long, like literally 4 years again, and it was amazing. But I still was doing things in moderation and whatnot, but that's when I started to finally like find that joy again and find that spark of hope. And now this year, so many different changes have been happening, like I was mentioning. We got a whole different coaching staff. It was just a lot of changes throughout my team. And also with it being my senior year. So that was a lot, but it was honestly for the best, because my training in the fall was just so good. It was really, really good. And the strength training was incredible. Like, I feel the fittest that I have ever felt. And I've been a D1 athlete for 4 years now. And now I finally feel so incredibly fit and actually super strong and super just confident in my strength and my body. And I think that now bringing that into the season and bringing it into my sport has been super, super beneficial. And now having a different coach with a different perspective and some new, critiques and ideas and a different energy has just been super, rejuvenating in a way. Refreshing, that's a word. It's been super refreshing. Yeah, I'm just super excited for this season. Like I said, finding the love for it again and the hope and being healthy, having a healthy body, literally knock on wood. I mean, I've had some little things, little injuries creeping up on me this past week or two, but I've been trying to deal with those and still stay hopeful. I mean, being my senior year is super hard because there's also like this pressure on the year, because like it's my last one. I want it to go good and I want to enjoy it and not have that frustration of being in pain the whole time I'm competing, or being in the pain every single day in practice, or just it not going well, I mean, it's frustrating because sometimes I get stuck in the what ifs, but getting stuck in those is so bad for anything in life. And I try not to think about them, but like I'm human, and so I go into the like, what if this coaching change happened earlier? What if it didn't happen? What if I wasn't injured these past 3-4 years? What if, I was able to compete at this level, at this capability, with this body and fitness, like my freshman year? What if I had this mindset earlier? What if I visualized earlier? Like, all these what ifs happen, and I just go down this bad path with it, and it makes me feel so fucking angry, and I get so frustrated. But you know what, the only way we can look is forward, and that's what I'm trying to do. But yeah, that is my little athlete update for you guys. Let me know if you like these updates, if you like hearing about my sport, because I will try to talk about it more these next few months, because it's probably like the last time I can actually talk about being a D1 athlete, so I'm gonna use it. And if you also follow me on Instagram, I will be posting a lot about being an athlete. Thank you very much, because it's the last few months that I can do it. So I am going to fill my fucking Instagram with athlete pictures, because I can. But yeah, I will talk to you all again next Tuesday. I hope you had such an amazing week, and know that I love you all so, so much, and I thank you for being here today. Okay, guys. Love you. Bye.